it does look like there may be good news for Disney when it comes to Fantastic Four, but there is bad news on the horizon with what's going on with Bob Iger, as Disney has cut several hundred more jobs amongst several divisions: TV, marketing, publicity, and casting. I want to show another video from producer Patrick. He's this guy that I follow on Instagram. He does a lot of great videos condensing down information. So let's watch this quick and then we'll get into it.
News, Disney just laid off hundreds of workers, again. And the message is clear: the old Hollywood is fading fast. Hi, it's producer Patrick bringing you the latest in the ever-evolving film and TV industry. Deadline reports that Disney has cut several hundred jobs across its film, TV, marketing, publicity, casting, development, all hit. And this isn't a one-off. It's the latest wave in years-long purge that has gutted legacy divisions as Disney doubles down on streaming and parks. Since Bob Iger's return in late 2022, over 7,000 jobs have been eliminated. ABC News, Freeform, National Geographic, all downsized. And this is all because linear TV is in freefall, and streaming, for the first time, is barely profitable. Even as Disney Plus posts gains and the parks deliver, the studio system that built this empire is shrinking. One insider told Reuters these layoffs are about shifting resources to growth areas, which translates to, if it doesn't stream or sell tickets to theme parks, it's on the chopping block. And Disney's not alone, but it's the bellwether. And if the mouse is tightening its belt, well, the rest of Hollywood better brace for impact.
Yeah, so it
Why
seems...
does he talk like that?
I don't know.
I don't like the way
sounds more
I don't like the way
serious.
he talks.
I like the way he talks.
He's trying to get your attention.
I don't know. It just bugs
The
me.
information is accurate, though. So downsizing literally everything but parks and ESPN, like the stuff that
Wow.
they know sell, year round.
So probably
And-
a lot of DEI.
And even
jobs.
the parks. Look, there are plenty of YouTubers that cover the parks and the absolute chaos that's going on at the parks.
Oh, different kind of chaos.
Yes.
Okay.
Different kind of chaos. They had
I just cover it when people go missing.
Bob Iger had the goal of getting rid of 7,000 jobs when he came back to Disney in
Wow.
2020 in 2023. They wanted to save $7.5 billion in savings, and of course the same thing was kind of done with David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers, who's cutting movies, killing them before they even go into production, and taking the tax write-off on everything, and making
Like
everybody
Supergirl, right?
and making everybody mad in the process. Well, not just that, it was the Looney Tunes stuff, and it was Batgirl.
Oh,
That was the
Batgirl,
one
yeah.
that got canceled, and everybody is upset about that. I like it because he kind of has his own thing going on, where he's kind of like the Trump of Hollywood, where he inspires this irrational hatred from people, which I get even if I don't necessarily like a person, I find somebody who can anger people that much fascinating.
They're doing something.
Yeah, he's doing something. And this was actually done after a better than expected Q2 earnings report, and that they said that their direct to consumer, so streaming, has gone from 289 million to 336 million. But again, if you watch channels like Valiant Renegade, you understand that it's all shifting money from one column.
Yeah.
It's all
To
funny
appease
money.
the shareholders.
Yeah, I don't really. I think once companies get this big, I don't know if I buy anything that really gets said about how things are done.
Yeah.
Right? You
It's hard to
understand that, we read that statement earlier from the Tinder lady, and it just sounds like corporate speak.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that is because there isn't usually a whole lot of good stuff to say, so if they couch it in a bunch of really, really vague language.
Yeah.
But
Shrouded in jargon.
But it's
Charts.
the type of thing where if you're paying attention, anybody paying attention knows that Disney isn't doing as well as they used to. Now, they have had more wins than the previous couple of years. Mufasa ended up being a bigger success than they expected it to. Lilo and Stitch has been very successful. Inside Out 2 has been very successful. But the problem is a couple of big wins at the movie theater a year isn't the same thing as having a streaming service which is extremely profitable, which if you want to do that, you have Netflix, and that's about it. And Netflix
Yeah.
is the only one that really seems to dominate that space.
Well, even
And they're just spending too much.
Even Netflix, though, I don't get what's going on with streaming, where they keep greenlighting show after show after show, killing them after 2 seasons. Most of them aren't that good, and then rather than focusing on the stuff that does do well and putting the money there, they just kind of shove that stuff to the side. Stranger Things season 4 came out when?
Amount of content matters more than quality
Wow.
of
But
content.
but that's why they're bleeding money, is because they're putting out bad
Too
stuff.
much.
The idea is though is like, okay, so if 100, if you make a new season of Stranger Things and it's really, really good, or Wednesday is a good example of that as well, because Wednesday was really, really popular. By virtue of how long it takes to make a season of television and what the general like narrow audience for that is, you're probably better off making, throwing crap at the wall and seeing what hits, because they're just not gonna keep how many, I think they have 300 million subscribers. Well, 300 million people don't watch Wednesday.
Right.
And 300 million people don't necessarily watch Stranger
They're
Things.
just trying to cast a really wide net.
Yeah. And Netflix is, to their credit, the one that's always at the top of the streaming charts. They have the top 6 or 7 shows all the time.
Wow.
But like I said yesterday, like HBO will have their Last of Us, which is there for a couple of weeks and then is gone. Paramount will have their Taylor Sheridan show, which is there for a couple of weeks and then it's gone. The thing that I hate, honestly, and I'll get to your super chat here in a second, Pop Culture Junkie, is like I miss when they dumped everything at once.
Yeah.
You can binge it.
Yeah, like I don't like. I understand why they do it. Like the reason I loved the first season of Reacher was because they put all eight episodes up at once, and I could watch them all at one time. Now they do like 2 episodes, and then you have to wait a week for
to do a Reacher around.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
It's like that's their own fault. For doing it. But to be fair, Jack Reacher isn't much better. Kind of has the same ring to it. There was a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie says, I wear a t-shirt that says, I retired from local TV before it started to suck. The recent Disney layoffs just amplify my sentiment.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's giving like, I bought my Tesla before Elon Musk became a supervillain vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe just own it, man.
Yeah.
Like, but then you're starting to sound like a union ideologue, like somebody who's like really into their local union.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about
That's
that
not
either.
fun
Is there anything that you've seen that's new that's really really interested you?
mean,
You were
like,
saying
in terms of like shows and
Yeah.
movies and stuff. Okay. I know I'm late getting on this train, but The Chosen is so good.
I'm
And I think season
I
5 is
have
coming
not
out
seen
soon. It is so good, and it's it's obviously not like a comedy, but it's so interesting to see like the life of Jesus and how he interacted with his disciples and like how the miracles were performed and things like that, and just like how the lead actor, I think his name is Jonathan Rumi.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to hear like his process, like how he actually did have a hard time trying to play Jesus. And
Was I misinformed when I was told it was made by Mormons?
no, Angel Studios I think produced the first maybe 3
I don't know
seasons.
what the I think they license it now, right?
I think so.
I don't know the history of the show. I know it's very very
they
popular and it's on
Mormons?
like every streaming service.
It's so good.
It's on like every streaming service. I got through like 6 episodes and then I kind of fell off. But I was actually it was more interesting to me as somebody who's not religious because it just feels like you're watching a television show.
It makes it like very accessible to people. It's not like you would think, oh, this is intimidating if you're not like a religious person, but it's very accessible.
A lot of really good actors in that show, and Jonathan Rumi does do a really good job of portraying a certain. Again, as somebody who's not hasn't read the Bible, like there's a gentleness to the character that's
Yeah.
very, very well
Very
done.
almost Christ-like.
It's subtle and it's done in a way where it's not over the top. But we are getting Passion of the Christ too.
Ooh, I haven't even seen one yet. What am I waiting for?
Family Guy predicted this years ago that there was going to be a Passion of the Christ 2 and that it was going to be ridiculous, but genuinely, what is it going to be?
The resurrection. That's just what I've heard.
Cool.
That's not a particularly long period of time to make a movie about, but all right.
I mean, you can make a movie about a couple of days.
It
if
could
it's
take them
really
guess,
forever to push the stone back.
Yeah, they're just really weak, and they're like,
We need more men.
Is Jim
we
Caviezel coming back to play? Okay.
That's going to be the most interesting part because it's been like 20 years, and he's like 20 years older
Mm-hmm.
now. So they're going to have to de-age him, I'm sure.
Like,
in
I was
some
in there a
fashion.
long time. Look how fucking old I am.
Hey, we do not slander Jim Caviezel here because he was in Person of Interest, and Person of Interest is my favorite show of all time. So we do not slander Jim Caviezel here.
Also, Righteous Gemstones, hilarious, great. I think they just came out with the 3rd season. So funny. Danny McRitchie. Who else is in it? John Goodman.
I will always take John Goodman, though. Again, as we were saying before the show, he got thin, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Chris Farley was still around when Ozempic came out, and then we had to have thin
I
Chris
don't
Farley.
think he would take it.
I would hope he wouldn't.
No.
I would hope he
because
wouldn't.
the fats really don't like it when one of their own goes thin.
They don't like
the
that.
fats need somebody fatter than them to idolize and sort of fawn
You see what
over.
they did to Lizzo and to Adele?
Lizzo,
and
Adele.
Adele wasn't even like super fat. She was just like
She just was like plush,
Yeah.
you know. And then Rebel Wilson,
Yep.
where has she been?
Actually, she's in him. She's got married.
See, she's crushing it at life. All you had to do was lose the lbs, ladies.
She married
Well,
a woman. So.
realistically,
well,
most people should probably try to be a bit skinnier than
Yeah?
they are.
true.
Like I'm actively trying to lose like 20 pounds.
Samesies, except for 35 pounds. Because I thought I would lose all this weight breastfeeding. I was like, you're gonna lose weight breastfeeding, and it's a year later. I'm like, how many
many
people do I have to breastfeed at this point? Because it's not coming off.
Be
all right?
very careful what
You
questions
guys-
you ask on the internet.
You guys want shots?
You are going to have multiple
we can-
people offering.
I could give you some in a shot glass right now.
We got a $20 super chat here from No One. Says Disney is gayer than AIDS. That's rude. How about the Zelda movie where Princess Zelda could be played by a man? And what's the deal with airline food? Cheers, Chrissy.
I do think
look,
it's really stupid that they're
topic.
suggesting that who is it?
Hunter Schafer.
Yeah, no.
the
Just
trans
no.
actor. Yeah. I think somebody's right. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yes,
Taylor
she's
Swift.
very wide-eyed and
That's a thing.
Bushy
Like
tails.
we did a segment about that at one point about
we did a Sugma?
a Sugma. There's an epidemic of like wide eyes, and it's perfect because my eyes are very close together. So for me,
can't really tell.
it's very noticeable. People in the chat like to give me crap for how
Wow,
close together
thanks,
my eyes
chat.
are.
The
That's
chat
okay.
always likes to
Look,
nitpick your appearance.
I love them no matter what, even if they have so much conflicting emotion inside about themselves that they have to take it out on me. You know, I still love them. So, look, Disney is struggling right now. The layoffs are indicative of a much larger trend throughout Hollywood. They're not even filming in Los Angeles much at all anymore. I was just watching these videos where this guy went around to all the empty sound stages. There's just because it's too expensive. Gavin Newsom has made it too much of a cumbersome production to actually film in California. So they move
shame.
stuff overseas so they
Right,
can get the
UK,
tax breaks.
It's cheaper to film.
Yep. So
What about Atlanta? How's Atlanta doing?
Atlanta's another popular
Vancouver.
one. Vancouver. Chicago does like all of the Dick Wolf police procedural and cop and fire shows are produced there. I know you want to make a Dick Wolf joke right now.
I'll use some restraint.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I could see the wolf from yesterday using some restraints.
There you go. You didn't see this, but
yeah.
be glad you didn't. Your life would have been changed forever. Point being that it's kind of like watching a slow motion car wreck where a lot of people on the inside of the industry that don't want the people who are criticizing it to be right are kind of either having the wool pull over their eyes or they're just not admitting
or
what
the
they're
wolf
seeing.
pulled over their eyes.
It's even worse.
That's scratchier.
That's bad stuff happens. You end up in a Law and Order SVU episode when that comes out. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.